Jeremy, do you want to say what is happening this week?
Well, when you guys watch this, there will be a song up on all streaming platforms called All These Pieces, and it's a really exciting moment for us in the Trove.
Ready?
Favorite part of the song, for me, it has to be the end. Still to this day, when I listen to it, I kind of get choked up at the end of the song. There's something about the way the song builds at the end.
Yeah, like a rock song.
It is a rock
Not
and
a
roll
pop
song.
song.
Yes,
It's a
but it's
rock
like an opus rock song. So the way that we kind of put at least that song together initially, and the way we kind of approached a lot of the songs, we actually went up to Arrowhead and spent a weekend in a house together, and we just played around with songs, and we all had kind of a song or two that we were presenting to the group, and the group was just kind of giving feedback. And so when we got to my song, it was getting near the end of the day. I could see a little bit of fatigue in the people, just kind of like we'd worked on a lot of songs. Even though the demo of it was just an acoustic guitar and a vocal, always had this intention of making a rock and roll song. And there's something about being in a room together with a bunch of other musicians that's very rock and roll. It was very much like a garage band moment.
Sure.
The ending of the song was supposed to be real small, sort of contemplative, going back into this chorus. We got to the bridge of the song, and everything was building and building. And I had this moment where I was like, I don't want it to stop. I don't want it to end. It was just getting big. And I was like, and so I looked over at Isaac, and I was just like, kind of did the universal, like, let's keep it going. Yeah. And I think I might've done the thumbs up, like, make it bigger. And we just, instead of going into the regular chorus, I sang a different melody. I sang different words. And by the time we finished that song, I was just blown away. I was like, that's it. That's exactly the way the song needed to be. It never would have happened that way if we had just taken the demo and started building a song. It had to be in a room, in a moment with a group of people where we were just feeling the song together and let it be what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's amazing. I would say probably one of my favorite parts of just making music in general is the songwriting process. Kind of taking those lyrics and tying them in with the music, and figuring out how you can complement the lyrics and the meaning behind the song with your instruments. How did you tie in all these pieces of your song?
all these pieces kind of became the meme of our lives. We always had this idea of kind of taking something that's broken and kind of bringing it back together. What if we took broken glass and we reversed it so that it's actually glass coming together? That's exactly what we did. We took the sound of glass breaking, we reversed it, we shook it up, spacey, a little reverb, little delay. Yes, Emily actually tuned it to the key of the song. It's just that extra little special kind of meaningful aspect of the song.
So I'm thinking of all of the people that came alongside us, or the people that were part of creating this song. There's 8 of us.
Mm-hmm. Some might call it too many cooks in the kitchen.
Or the studio.
Yes, or too many cooks in the studio. But I would say it's equal parts challenging because there's so much creativity, and that creativity can go in so many different directions. And so sometimes those ideas, you're like, okay, like, I guess we could try that.
They might have an idea that I don't understand right now, and it's going to make this the song it needs to be in the end.
I guess there's a part of me that looks at something that shouldn't work, and I say, no, I'm gonna push back against that and say 8 people that are legitimately talented at what they do, and many of these like great songwriters in their own right, and we're all going to support one another, and it's going to work out because it shouldn't. And I want it to work out. Look, the Beatles couldn't keep it together, right? The Trove, we're sticking it out. We're sticking it out.
Sticking it out.
I think I just compared us to the Beatles, and we have one song. I said earlier, the reason I think that this song ended up being the perfect song, it was sort of you guys that all said, you're gonna put a song forward. So I was like, okay, well, I don't mind doing that. And I honestly didn't think that the song that I was going to contribute was even going to be the first song that we released. I had no idea that was going to be the case. But what happened just in the flow of the way the song came together was that it really did all these pieces come together. And so the song just really came together. And what was so great about it, and why I think it ended up being the perfect song to put forward, was because it involves so many different people. Every time I listen to it, whether it's Andrew's keyboard parts or Ethan's electric guitar parts, or it's Emily's electric guitar parts, or your electric guitar parts, there's so much about the song that I hear each person's voice present in the
Yeah.
song. The reality is that if I would have sat in a room by myself, it would have sounded nothing like it sounds now. And I guarantee you it wouldn't sound nearly as good. What we put together was a song that was very much about letting individual people within the group be expressive, coming together and making a song that ended up being so much greater than what I would have expected.
I definitely think life and creativity is much sweeter when it's shared. Being in a community, how does that play into how we should live just as humans, and just how we should interact with each other and treat each other and support each other?
Well, it's interesting because this idea, the Trove idea that we hatched, was in the heart of kind of COVID lockdown time. And I think it was a time for a lot of people where people were just really trying to seek out community, feeling isolated. And there was this catalyst around seeking out community. But one of the things that really, that first weekend that we got together up in Arrowhead and started crafting these songs, what I realized very quickly was that this wasn't really a music project at all, but the art was just a means or a way to come together as a community and support one another. Not all these songs there's a lot of dark themes that will roll through some of these songs, is dark places in life. And so I know that this came at a time for some people where they really, really needed that. To me, when I'm talking about how the song kind of lifted each individual person up and made the whole thing better, I just think that's how life is in general. I think that we have people God puts around us that can build us up, can make us better. I think sometimes when we operate in our silos where we feel like we've got it all together, or we need to have it all together, or we can do this thing on our own, the reality is that we're all flawed in some way. And I think there's a beauty to recognizing not just the intrinsic value of someone, because I know in our society right now, we're really talking about recognizing the intrinsic value of other humans, but I'll take it another level and say it's not just about recognizing the intrinsic value in humans in general, but saying that person's valuable to me. And not in a selfish way, but that person can make me better. And in addition to that, I have an opportunity, if I engage with that person in their life, God intends for us to be together, and He knows that we're flawed. And so He puts people around us to make us better. And so I think this song just, it follows that same theme. A better song that we make when we come together to do it than if we just decide to do it on our own.
One of my favorite things that we mentioned about the Trove probably last year, the whole idea of the Trove, this treasure trove, kind of this concept of beautiful pieces, all these beautiful pieces coming together.
All of them coming together.
Is not just this group of 8 people, or this group of, maybe even expanded a little bit more and say this group of 20 people that have kind of helped this project be what it is. It's really not about that group of 20 people at all. It's about everyone that gets to experience it as ultimately as this EP project releases, and just as we continue forward in life. The Trove is really every person in the world. That makes it worth it to me, creating anything at all, that it's really not about us, and it's really not for me or for this group of people that worked to finish this project, but it's about the person that's going to hear it.
I was talking to Kayla also in the Trove the other day about, it's easy to say, well, creativity has to be, in order for creativity to be valuable to other people, it always has to get shared. But in that conversation I had with Kayla the other day, the reality is that sometimes the creativity it might just be a way for us to process. It may be a way for God to speak to us through something in our life. If it impacts us in a positive way, we are the ones that impact other people. So any way that we get impacted gets shared. If you write a song because you're in a tough time in your life, and it's just you process something and God speaks to you through it, everything that you take from that, you're going to share with the people around you. If you never share that poem, if you never share that song with somebody, if it never sees the light of day, it doesn't mean that it hasn't made an impact. And let's be real, like these songs, the songs that connect the most deeply with people are the songs where they're connecting with the humanity of the song. I can put myself in those shoes. I can relate to that.
Understand that.
That's the most powerful level, when you're connecting with the songwriter as opposed to just the song itself.
Yeah. If there was one person or band that you hope to hear this song,
Oh, so we got to figure out who we got to tag in this. All right.
I know my answer.
I love that connection that I get with the songwriter, where I feel like I feel like they're just sharing themselves, sharing their soul. And I think the best songwriters can share other people's stories, but do it in a way that make you think that that was their story. And I think right now in music, to me, the person that does that the best is a guy named Jason Isbell. Just there's so much humanity to his songs, and there's so much that's relatable. Like, man, this guy's experienced an awful lot in not that long a period of time. But then you start realizing that these songs, they're not all autobiographical, but the way he writes them, they most definitely feel that way. They just feel like a slice of humanity. I can see myself in that, and I can resonate with that.
I'm gonna go the rock route and say that Gable Price and all his friends.
Gable Price and, yes, all the friends. Not just
all
some of the friends, all
not
of the
just
friends.
his friends in the band.
No.
Should listen to this song because it's
A rock opus. That's a little bit extreme. But I think
So,
Gable
I
Price
would
would
say,
appreciate
yeah,
the
exactly.
word rock opus.
okay. Last thing, how can everyone hear this song? All the streaming sites,
yep.
Spotify for sure.
Yep.
YouTube. If you follow the Trove on Instagram or Facebook, you can access the song through there. So
yeah,
don't forget
we'll make
to
sure
listen
you
to
know.
it. It would be sad if you made it all the way through this video and then didn't listen to the song. So we'll make sure you.
Yeah, now you have to. If the glass breaking thing didn't tease it enough, you notice how I said like my favorite part is the end of the song, because I want you to make it to the end of the song.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the Trove.
Yes, welcome to the first song of the Trove. I promise you there are more to come. We are putting the final touches on the second single. I won't say the date because it's still a secret, but the EP will release before many of you have your next birthday. I'll just say that.
Definitely.
Ow.
I think that was longer than mine.
Of course it was. It's twice as long as yours.